Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Positivity. I am your host, Zykia McCoy. Here at Cooking with Positivity, we like to focus on positivity leading to success, whether that be in your business, in your love life, or in your everyday decision making. Happy Tuesday. It is Book Club Tuesday. We are going to discuss our book club book of the month, and our book was Depraved Devotion by Morgan Bridges. I'm still reaching out, trying to get Morgan on the podcast. But this is book one of her Villains and Vices series. Now, if you have completed the book and you commented, you left messages, questions, I'm going to save the questions specifically for if we get her on the podcast. But I did get some comments and thoughts on the book itself. And I want to thank everybody for their comments and for following along with the book club. You will receive raffle entries for our Fun Free Friday positive raffle. Now, we are reading about Ghost. The man is a brilliant, ruthless serial killer who thrives on chaos. Just like his cult following enwraps by his brutality and beauty, he's completely unhinged. And he's obsessed with me. So when Ghost turns himself in and demands to speak to me, I'm forced to confront the beautiful monster sitting on the other side of the glass. And the one inside, the one lurking in my own fractured soul. Ghost's fixed attention brings goosebumps to my skin and sends chills down my spine. I choose to believe my reaction is based in fear, but when I'm alone in bed, it's harder to convince myself. As boundaries fade and the line between doctor and patient blurs, Ghost proves to know more about me than would seem possible. Soon I'm faced with the question: what am I willing to pay to unveil the truth about my haunted past? Because to Ghost, the price is me. All of me. Now, this book, I believe I said to you guys when we first started reading, it gave me Hannibal Lecter vibes. It was the whole Hello Clarice type vibes. But Ghost doesn't seem as unhinged as eating people. From what we've got to know about Ghost in this book, he's more manipulative, and that's how he flexes his muscle and control. But he is physically fit because he takes out a lot of people in this book very easily. My thing with Neva, that's our main character. That's who we're following into this jail to meet this serial killer who just happened to turn himself in. She seems so smart and so put together that she unraveled too easily for me. She succumbed to his manipulation too easily for me. It was like after one or two visits, he was controlling her. He was embedded in her. She couldn't get him out of her system. She just had to know more about him. She just had to be in his orbit. And I don't know about you, but if I see somebody murder another person, or I'm aware that they murdered another person, I'm not running to understand their psyche or even be around them. But I guess with her job as a psychologist, that kind of drives them. And funny enough, I wanted to be a psychologist or a therapist when I was younger, because I wanted to help people who have been through trauma and things of that nature like I have. But I'm doing okay right here in Cooking with Positivity. I can talk to y'all. Y'all can talk to me. We can do it just like that, and it's fine. Because it's not just helping people. You take on the burden of trying to figure them out and dealing with their emotions and their problems and their thoughts. Like Geneva, she took a lot of stuff home with her. Almost like she took ghosts home herself. Now, I get the bad boy angle. You're kind of intrigued. It kind of entices you. But the lengths she was willing to go to give up everything so quickly for me, it was too quick for me. I don't know if the rest of you felt like that. I do know Deborah Millen commented, Geneva is stupid and she's stigmatized. Thank you, Deborah, for your comment. And I would agree, but they didn't get physical until way later. She had already succumbed to him and his manipulation well before they even got physical. Just being in his presence had her wrapped up. He was an enigma that she needed to figure out, understand, dissect, get to know. And I would agree that, again, there's something to that not knowing. And the fact that he knew so much information about her and she didn't know much about him, I can understand wanting to know more information. But Geneva put herself in harm's way a lot of the times. Not only with her mental, but with her physical. By going to the jail. If you've read that part, you know she was at risk of being attacked by others. Of course, we find out later that he set it up to be that way. But she shouldn't have been there in the first place. This man had contact information. He was able to contact her via phone. And she allowed all of this. At first, it started off as curiosity. But then I feel it started off becoming, like Deborah said, stupid. Like, you have a whole career, a whole life that you are willing to sacrifice, lay on the line for this criminal. He's a known criminal. Because you felt goosebumps. I don't believe that a woman of her intelligence, because the book leads us to believe that she's highly intelligent, would risk it all that easily. He only had to tug at her, like I said, a few visits for her to be all googly eyes and mesmerized. Yeah, she has her own mental demons that she's facing, grieving her parents and all of these things. But that doesn't explain her willingness to agree to be around this man so easily. The book leads us to believe that she's drawn to him, that they're drawn to each other. They have this magnetic connection that neither one of them understand or can explain. But I don't know. I don't know. Hit us up. Let us know. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever been around a person, been next to a person, met a person, and you are just drawn to them no matter what? And no matter what they do, what the circumstances are, you're willing to submit yourself fully, sacrifice all of that you've worked hard for, all that you've built to that point, by pursuing any type of relationship with this person. And towards the end, they tried to show us that she was fighting back a little bit. She was showing her control in the situation, but I feel it's too little too late. Like David, I'm sorry if I chop and screw your last name, Oretta or Orita. David Orita said, I want a woman to love me like this, and all I have to do is tell her she loves me. David, I don't think you want that, honestly. I promise you. Because what happens when you no longer feel that way? What happens when you no longer feel that connection? What happens when the fascination and the adventure of it all is gone? Then what? Then y'all left with these raw, undefined emotions and confusion. Or you run the risk of hurting her, and vice versa. Because like I said, they both have mental issues. That's for sure. We saw a little bit of Geneva's mental issues dealing with men in the capacity that she was. She didn't want a relationship. She poured all of her energy and all of her effort into her work because the men were not fulfilling some weird satiation that she had, or this weird empty space that she had since her parents, until she met Ghost, which is not his real name. He wouldn't even tell her his real name. And I was kind of disappointed, towards the end, that she didn't make that a stipulation in a deal that they had. Because that would have been the first thing that I was like, okay, you want me to do a psychological eval on you, you have to tell me your real name. You have to tell me who I'm doing the psych eval on. So that was kind of a letdown plot point. I am excited about book 2. I am definitely going to get it. And this book was actually a Christmas gift My sister got me this book. She said she think I would like it. And it made me feel all the feels. I was frustrated. I was aggravated. I was trying to understand. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to see what was going to happen next. All of the things. So she was right. Kudos to you, Red. Thank you again. And our new book for the coming month is last year's CWP Writer Society winner, Delphine McClellan. It is her second book, and it's called Dark Secrets. Secrets, some can be sweet and essential, while others are toxic and dangerous. But in the end, they all can change lives. The Montgomery secret has been revealed, and now Skylar's life will be forever changed. Bound for New Orleans, Skylar is determined to make sense of that secret as she navigates an entirely new world, a world that she could only dream about. New Orleans starts out like a breath of fresh air, but quickly that fresh air turns toxic. Skylar learns quickly that this new world is even darker and more dangerous than she ever expected. Excuse me. Cario loves and hates New Orleans, a city responsible for creating the darkness that lives deep inside of him. Unlike Skylar, Cario knows this city like the back of his hand. He is aware of the dangers that lurk around every corner. After visiting Malachi's past, Cario is hell-bent on keeping the dangers of the city from ever touching his precious little mouse. Skylar belongs to him, and those that touch her will pay for that mistake in blood. Now, we will have Delphine on to discuss this book and the last book and how she's been doing since she's won her CWP award. And she will be entered in the CWP award ballot for next year. And I'm so excited to sit down and have this conversation with her. I've already started reading. And again, if you are following along, make sure you leave your comments. Make sure you leave your questions. Like I said, Delphine will be on the pod to talk about Dark Secrets and all she's been up to. And on that note, I hope everybody has a great and positive rest of their day and a great and positive rest of your week.